Welcome, welcome. Tim Bart's here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. Audio check 1 2. Everybody hear me okay? Think so. I always just go with the stream down there, but I do want to welcome you guys in for this week's live stream. Shout out to all the members in there. You can see them noted by their colored names and their icons, the logo behind them. So how long they've been a member. So thank you to the members joining in, especially early. And I'm sure we'll get more people in here as they get their notifications on their phones and different devices. I do want to remind everybody this is being recorded as a audio podcast, so you can search out your favorite podcasting places. You can see them there on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. So we of course cast this out on Podbean, but also it goes out on Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher, iHeart, about all the different streaming platforms. Probably should name all those if you're streaming this and listening to this, right? But anyway, so you can find those on your favorite streaming platforms there. And don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel, got to do that part. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you get notified next time we have another video uploaded to the YouTube channel. Now this week I didn't actually promote out the live stream on the different places, Maverick Truck Club and all the different Facebook forums. So we'll just see how many people are in here. Maybe not get as many with the topic for this week, but there's a lot of information, a lot of news that hopefully they don't miss out on and watch this later. But if we do have a smaller group, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Also, don't forget, if you want to become a member, speaking of the members in there, you can do that by clicking the join button right there beside the subscribe button. So definitely can do that. Now, if you're watching this and you're listening to this and you're on wanting to subscribe or wanting to become a member and you're on an iPhone or an iPad, you will not see that join button there. So for you to be able to do that, you do, of course, on your iOS device. If you're logged into the YouTube app, you'll need to click over to Safari, and then you want to also, when you first pull into Safari, you'll be on a mobile device. You want to click the little A's in the left-hand corner, left top corner. You'll see that right there. And then go down to the request desktop website. When you do that, it'll refresh and you'll see that join button at that point. So you need to be in the desktop format on iOS devices to be able to see that join button. So if you're wanting to do that, that's how you get to that. So want to make sure I go over all that. And don't forget to, this last week we did have a couple videos that went live. Did not update on my notes here. We had the 23 F-150 XL video, and it should be linked in the description down below. And then the XLT video is actually ready. I'll have that go live tomorrow morning maybe, because I want to make sure you guys get that information. And that was actually recorded in the last week, but boy, we were busy this last weekend, and so it didn't get done. It is done, and then we'll be recording the F-150 Lariat trim, as well as I'm going to try to do a lightning walk around this week and get that going live. So several videos to be looking at our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed and the notification is turned on. This Thursday we will be going live on Facebook. Link is in the description if you want to tag that, and it is set up as an event. So if you want to tag that event to get notified, that link to that is in the description as well. And don't forget, Maverick Meetup is coming up. It's just around the corner there. So don't forget, that's going to be at Lakewood Park. It is August 13th. So definitely check that out. A lot of things to do there. We even have a commercial that went live, and I had that video went live yesterday if I wanted to count that as a video. But a commercial for those around in Kansas knowing that this is going on, that they can come without a Maverick and see what's going on. But I'm going to have a lot of fun that day. Starts at 11 a.m., but we'll continue most of the afternoon. I plan to be there until 3 or 4, however late everybody else is there. So we'll have some fun that day, and so hopefully you guys can join us that day as well. And if we have any members out there, make sure you're looking at the membership perks, because we're doing a Friday night get together. So information about that, if you're interested in that, definitely make sure you email Sarah at the email address set up for our members. So definitely make sure you're letting us know about that so we can have some fun that evening before for our members. And don't forget, I always like to put this down in the description, Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. Their YouTube channel is down there. I will reference one of his videos later in the stream. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you know where that's at. That is in the description as well. And I want to do a shout out. Shout out to everybody watching the video, everybody out on Facebook, because this week, I think it was Friday night, someone had posted on one of the Facebook groups and asked about who is this Tim Barch and what does everybody stand behind his every word. And so many people, jumped in and came to my rescue in a sense, but they were just very supportive. So I want to thank you guys for being supportive to me, and that you can tell I generally want to give you the information, pass it on to you guys, and you guys you supported me there. So I want to thank you guys for that. And one little plug for later in the video, we're going to cover some stuff on the Roush, but there's going to be some exclusive stuff that I have confirmation of, something that we've been rumors for a while. I have confirmation on that's going to be coming to the Maverick in the future. So you definitely want to stick around to the end when we talk about the Roush information after our topic, which of course you can see there is coming up in about 24 minutes here. So thank you to Mike, joined the McArthur crew. So he figured it out, so whether he's on iPhone or not, but thank you very much. Appreciate you joining the crew. I will be answering questions here a little bit here after we talk about the topic. I want to run through those information just like I do every week, and we'll get to those questions. And when we do, don't forget to put that at McArthur. Make sure you spell it right. If you want to know how that's spelled, actually, you know what? Somebody said I don't have McArthur on anywhere on the stream. I'll have to add that. You want to make sure to do at McArthur, and so that way we can see that, so I can see it a little bit easier when I'm going for those questions. Now, this week's good news moment came from Resty, is how he spells it, but he did send me this email and said, shout out to our internet sales specialist Samantha Gutierrez at our local dealership here in Rosenberg, Texas. Legacy Ford is the dealership. So shout out to Legacy Ford and to Samantha. Said also shout out to Jacob Underwood in finance that helped go through the paperwork. No dealer markup, gave my Z-Plan code, and even got a $50 discount at doc fee. Here is my timeline. So he actually broke down his timeline. He ordered November 6th, ordered at Legacy. Said he about 2 days later is when he got the confirmation from Ford, the email confirmation and everything. And then on 5/20, he got his email that the vehicle is scheduled to be built the week of June 6th. So if you want to know how soon you get that email from when your VIN date and your build date is set, it is about that far. It's about, what, 10, 15 days, somewhere in there. So it's a good idea to look at that. And his VIN was signed. Oh, real quick before we keep going, thank you, Norman, for joining the McArthur crew. I appreciate it. So don't forget to check out the member video that Sarah did this last week. Very good video, by the way. So also on 6/23, continuing on, he said he got an email saying your vehicle has been built. So you can see that timeline. He had a build date of June 6th, and then he got a 6/23 build date, and you'll see why it took a little while here in a little bit when we talk about his build. On 6/27, he got another email saying your vehicle has been shipped, and it gave an ETA of 7/18 to 7/24. And then on 7/13, actually, it was delivered to the dealership. So Texas is down south, so probably a little quicker. And then 7/14 is when he went and picked up his vehicle. So there's kind of the timeline. He said he got a Velocity Blue all-wheel drive Lariat 2.0 EcoBoost. Some of you probably wonder, November build date, why did he get built, scheduled before us? Because he had an EcoBoost. So keep that in mind as well. Some of those EcoBoosts from November, of course, they were going to be ahead of some of the earlier the November hybrid. So keep that in mind. Did order EcoBoost, Lux package, Copilot 360, and was very happy with it. They also installed a legal tent for free. Gave me a tailgate assist, and told me that I will be getting a goodie box from Ford for waiting too long. And actually, I think that they're misinterpreting that. That's only the people with the hybrid. But that, hey, one little hiccup there, but they did everything else correctly, it looks like. It says, I can't confirm this because I haven't got the goodie box yet. Total wait time was 8 months, 1 week. So kudos to Samantha at Legacy Ford. So I'd like to give a shout out to those dealerships doing things the right way, and they are. So great job there. So I'll keep that in my little bank up here. When people ask if you don't have a good dealership in Texas, I can tell them Legacy Ford is one of those. Forever Metal, thanks for joining the McArthur crew. So 3 new members here already, and unless I missed another one, I think I got them all. Anyway, here we go. So, okay, let's get into what's scheduling this week. A little behind already, but that's okay. So the Bronco is not scheduling this week. So actually, let's go. I'm actually going to pull this up It works. Yay, it worked out right. So that way you don't have to look at my face the entire time if you're watching this on YouTube. All right, so Bronco is not scheduled this week. We actually got all of our 8 allocations scheduled last week, including an order that I kind of had my hands in a lot for somebody that I've been very supportive to me and has ordered early on. And she got hers scheduled after an August 2020 reservation date on her Bronco. So glad to see hers got scheduled finally. So there you go. And then the Bronco Sport is scheduled this week for the weeks of 9/5 to 10/17. All of ours got scheduled last week. All 18 of ours have already been scheduled for this month. Edge is not scheduled this week, and I do have some notes that I want to kind of go over in a way of any constraints and such that they gave us this week on those. Even though Edge isn't scheduling, there are some things that take note of if you do have an Edge. Don't forget, if you have an adaptive cruise, it may take longer to schedule, and those are standard on the Titanium Lux 301A, ST High Package 401A, and is included in the optional Copilot 360 Assist option 67D. So just keep that in mind there. The Escape is not scheduled this week. You can see we do have 5 Escape allocations, but they won't get chosen probably this week because they're not in scheduling. And I'm actually going to pop this off while I talk about this. So on Escape, the only note we have on Escape is that the hands-free liftgate, power liftgate feature will not be on your order shield. Those will be taken off. But other than that, there's no other constraints really on the Escape other than that. So just keep that in mind. Oh, we got another new member. We got Joey Franco. So thank you, Joey. Thanks for becoming a member of the McArthur crew. All right, moving on. We do have going back to this, have the Expedition. Expedition, we do have 1 allocation that could schedule this week. We had 4 out of 5 prior to this already get taken care of, but Expedition is scheduled for the weeks of 9/12 to 9/26. And some of the information we have on Expedition, there actually is a big laundry list here. Of course, hands-free liftgate is one of those that will not be on any of those. My Expedition did not have that, but mine's already built 4 months ago. Still don't know where it's at. Still think it's in Kentucky. Anyway, we have... because of chip shortage, they're saying at one point they said the rear climate controls and the heated seat buttons will not be on the vehicles, but they have taken that off. They should be on the vehicles on those. Also, retail and stock orders with multi-contoured seats, they will not be selected for scheduling. They're encouraging people to select the options that they have available that take the multi-contoured seats off of those. Also, they said the WEPDO has been updated to include reduced seat modular function, less the power fold third row seat functionality. This option is not available for scheduling at this time. So it sounds like if you have the power fold third row seat, then it may not get selected, not put on those vehicles. So I am lucky that mine is already built, even though it's not delivered yet. At least I know it'll have that functionality. And then the hands-free liftgate removal option, of course, I mentioned that, and the Active Park Assist 2.0 removal. Unscheduled and scheduled retail and stock orders have been amended to include this feature. So even if you don't have it, it's going to be selected. Also, stock and retail orders cannot be amended into the XLT with the special edition package and the heavy duty trailer tow, which is optional on the XLT 202A, which I do have the special edition package on mine, but again, it's already built, so we should be good there. And also it says to be advised please be advised there is limited availability for mahogany interior trim, optional on the limited. So keep that in mind. And then dual exhaust, which is standard on the Timberline 500 501A and limited stealth performance package 304A, that's limited availability as well. So a lot of things going on with Expedition. So there you go. That's the news on that. Explorer is not scheduling this week. We do have no allocations left. They're all been selected. Only notes on Explorer, let's see here, is the hands-free liftgate on all the SUVs, it seems like. And also regarding, to reference the information that orders that have the premium technology package with the multi-contoured seats. So those will... Of course, you want to make sure you have the ones without the multi-contoured seats on those. That's it on the Explorer. F-150, they're scheduling this week for the week of 9/19. Move on over here. We do have, looks like 17 allocations that might get built, or we might get scheduled for 17 of ours for this week. We still have 41 to balance out. for the month, and 17 could happen this week alone, so that's good to have. F-150, there are some things. It does say the following options will only be available to schedule on retail orders. Stock orders with these options will not be selected. So this is good for those that have a retail order. 3.5 liter EcoBoost hybrid engine, they are scheduling, but again, only retail. The 2 kilowatt Pro Power on board is also something that they're only for the retail, and they consider removing this option on the retails as well. So they're saying that they're going to only do it on the retails, but it's very limited, so that might hold up your build, it sounds like, if you have the 2 kilowatt Pro Power on board, which is optional on most of your non-hybrid vehicles. Tonneau covers, the wheel well liners, and a 300A. So those are they're only going to select those on retail orders, but because it's on here, I'm telling you, it'll probably be a constraint item that I would take off if you have a tonneau cover or the wheel well liners on your order. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, we do know of all the different offerings and constraints on the auto start stop removal. That's on your order that you have. If you have the Active Park Assist 2.0, that you have the removal on there, you will not be able to access Active Park Park Assist 2.0, but it will get scheduled. There is that availability on the hybrids. If you want the optional halogen headlights and fog lights, you can select it. The Copilot 360 Assist 2.0, that is constraint. Multi-contour seats with active motion and the active recline seats, or the max recline seats, I'm sorry, as well. Carmelo interior is a problem. Active steering. The Raptor interior through 801A is also constrained, and the connected nav with the Sirius XM with 360L. So a lot of things there on the F-150 that are going to be constrained if you have an order. Now, talk about the Maverick. Maverick is scheduling this week. We do not have any allocations. All of ours have been used. 17 have already been selected for our orders. So at this point, we kind of know which ones are going to be possibly carried over, because we do have some that will get scheduled next month. But anything left that we have that's unscheduled, we're going to put all those in as an order for 23, and just in case on our orders. And I did have a special note here. It does say specialized commit for aged orders will take place Wednesday. So that is a note we have not seen on there before. So I know they said they're going to take priority over those early orders, but now there's an actual note that says we are committing to handle the aged orders. Not sure what they're considering aged. I would say June, July, August orders that are COVP approved. I've said that wrong a couple of times. I've had some people ask, about that, but no, COVP, those will get, those have to have that approval to be looked at. But so I would say at this point, after this week, if you have an order from a hybrid order from June, July, August, even, I would say if you don't get a scheduled build date or a VIN after this week, you probably need to be asking that dealer, because more than likely you do not have an approved order. I would almost bank on it at this point. So I'm going to bet my reputation on that one. All right, looking at the Mustang, it is not scheduling this week. We don't have any allocations left. Mustang Mach-E is scheduling for the weeks of 9/5 through 9/26, so most of September. Do we have a Mach-E? We do have one Mach-E allocation available. So we'll maybe be able to get, we'll have one get scheduled there, or get on this week. We do have Ranger, no scheduling this week, and the only constraints, the only reason I bring it up, even though there's not scheduling, is for those that are looking for the future weeks and want to make sure their orders are in line so they do get selected. This week is a good week to do that. So don't forget, if you do have a Lariat struggling to get scheduled, you can add the Lariat halogen headlights and fog lights now. So that is something that, they came with LEDs, but that's now an option. You can select those. And then that's about it on it. And then Super Duty, let's see what we have here. We do have Super Duty. We have 10 allocations left, but it's saying it's not selecting anything, even though Super Duty can. They're going to schedule some for the week of 8/22. Transit, no scheduling this week. And then Transit Connect, no van and wagon, no scheduling this week. Don't forget, Sync 3 is not getting scheduled. So if you do have Transit Connect van or wagon with the Sync 3, they will not be selected for scheduling. So those are available on the XLT and titanium configurations. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over here to Lincoln, because I know it takes a little while. And then on the Aviator, Aviator is not scheduling this week, just so you know that. And go to my Aviator notes. I think they're actually bound under here. Unscheduled and scheduled retail and stock orders have been amended to hands-free liftgate delete feature. So even on the Aviator, hands-free liftgate is being taken off of their orders. So keep that in mind on that. We do not have any allocations left on Aviator. See any other notes on Aviator? That's it. The Corsair is not scheduling this week either. We do have one allocation. Actually, it says it's scheduling this week, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess if it is I think some of the plugins are getting manually scheduled, so maybe that's why we have one showing that we might schedule this week. But there you go there. And on the Corsair, a lot of little notes here that we've seen in the past. Nothing new though. Retail and stock orders with the Copilot 360 1.5 Plus will not be selected for scheduling. So if you have that on your order, you might want to remove it. Unscheduled and scheduled retail and stock orders have been amended to the hands-free liftgate delete, of course. And then we'll see that as carrying through on all your SUVs that have that option. Tech package is not available to order or amend on the gas 201A stocks Corsair orders at this time. So it also says to improve your chances of scheduling retail orders, please consider removing that option as well. Elements Technology Bundle is not available to order or amend on your plug-in stock Corsair orders. And again, on the retails, to improve your chances, they ask you to take that off. And then adaptive suspension is not available to order or amend to on the gas 201A retail or stock Corsair orders at this time. So there you go. And the Nautilus is not scheduling this week either. We didn't get any allocations for Nautilus. I don't think it's scheduling at all this month, to be honest. And then on the Nautilus, same things. Since it's not scheduling this month, we'll just pass over that because I'm kind of, my time's winding down here to get to the topic. So on the Navigator, we do have some Navigator scheduling for the weeks of 9/12 to 9/26. Again, the liftgate is there. I assume, I actually don't see that on here. It doesn't mention that. But it does mention the special edition package on the black label is no longer available to amend into this feature. So that's been kind of balanced out. And then also the says, please note the retail and stock unscheduled and scheduled orders with the optional feature of, on reserve and black label with the enhanced massaging with console will no longer be available to amend and will not schedule with these features. So keep that in mind. Don't forget Active Park Assist 2.0 prep kit needs to be on your order as well. And we will not have that option when it comes in on those, even the Navigator. And then also the different interior colors we've mentioned in the past is also on here again. So there's just some notes for you to keep in mind when you're looking at those. So let's all gone over all that. Dealer news updates real quick. We might have to skip ahead pretty quickly here. Price increase happened this week, or goes into went into effect 7/22 on Super Duty, so $1,000 more on all series on the Super Duty. So if you find a stock one out there, good luck for one, and for two, it'll be $1,000 more there. And then there was an update to the brokering. This actually Ford Authority put an article out, but they based it off this information from the dealers. They updated the new vehicle brokering, reselling, and exporting. So they added the terminology a little bit to help out a little bit. I think to help out in a sense, so that dealers don't broker their inventory out. So brokering includes the utilization of any third party to wholesale, transfer, or otherwise deliver inventory, especially vehicles in high demand. Including but not limited to Raptor, F-150 Lightning, and all specialty vehicles. That would be your GT500s. Additionally, any non-Ford dealer or non-Lincoln dealer that provide vehicle and inventory relocator services, automotive transfer assistance, dealer trade facilitation, and or any other company has similar name or service is considered a broker. So we have these that contact us all the time. So they email us a lot of times, like when the Raptor news came out last week, Raptor R, we got broker services that says, hey, we'll buy any of your Raptor R allocations for $50,000 over MSRP. So they just put that right out there. Well, that's a broker service. So if they're basically saying dealers that do this, there's going to be strict situations here. So there's some things that were added. Don't need to go into that really, other than, you know, they want to stop that. So, you know, and talking about that, we've seen a lot of people that have kind of gave dealers a bad rap if they mark up vehicles that they get that people don't take or whatever. They're marking them up 5 grand, 10 grand and such. Well, here's the reason dealers are doing that is because there's wholesalers out there like this broker service that are willing to say, hey, and they've done this for us, we'll take any Mavericks at 5 grand over or 7 grand over. By the way, that's the prices we pick on our vehicles that aren't taken is $500 and $7,500. Well, that happens to be the amount that brokers are willing to pay for them from us, you know. And so instead of, you know, dealers in the past, hey, what's a great way to give us a positive reputation? We can sell all of our vehicles to customers at MSRP, but then they can take vehicles that maybe aren't taken and go and take them to the broker and get and make 5 grand or whatever over, and then they don't have to look bad to the public. So whereas what we try to do is we sell all of our vehicles at wholesale price, which happens to be what these brokers are willing to pay. They kind of had told us, you know, that's what the market is. So that's what a lot of dealers, some dealers are doing, and we don't do that. We know we get penalized if we don't sell our new vehicles to the end seller. And if we do it to a broker, that actually penalizes us for allocations. We know that, so we don't do that, but that's just kind of one of those reminding dealers, don't do that. We need to sell the new vehicles to the public. So I think that's great that they're doing that and putting that out there for everybody. New colors for this year. All right, let's talk about this. This came out on the I posted on the Maverick Truck Club, but found this thanks to Bronco 6G, by the way, because they actually put the link in there and I found it. And the link, you can only get to this from the dealer website. So it's a dealer connection website, so you have to have credentials to be a Ford dealer to find it. Probably if you're looking at my screen, you see the URL there. So if you have a dealer, you can check those out and see. You can see the Maverick colors. So they are Atlas Blue, Avalanche Gray, Hot Pepper Red. I told you that would stick around, right? I mentioned it last week. Shadow Black, Iconic Silver, Area 51, Alto Blue is staying around. Carbonized Gray is staying around as well. Cactus Gray, not Flight Gray, whatever it's called, Flight Gray, whatever. Or Jet Fighter Gray, I think is what it's called. Cyber Orange, Tri-Coat is sticking around, and Oxford White. So don't know if there's going to be any colors added to this. Kind of disappointed I don't see Eruption Green in there. I think a lot of people are wanting to see that color. But there you go. There's your colors. We think those are correct. Now, we can go over here and select other vehicles. And if we go to the F-150, and we can see, we know this information from last week, and we do know that these are colors from the F-150. Hot Pepper Red was new, Avalanche Gray was new, and so we know that these Azure Gray, there you go, and that's new color, so we know these are up to date. Area 51 was new for this F-150, so we know these are pretty accurate colors because it's that way on the F-150. So you know, I can play around and look at any of the vehicles. You know, it's pretty cool to see that the color of my Lightning is not available in 23. So it's going to be a 1-year color, though I kind of like that idea. So those that get a 22 will have that. So if they pick that color. So anyway, Bronco Sport, you know, those should match up with the colors that you get on the Maverick. They do have Eruption Green, a lot of the other same colors, but you know, Eruption Green is not available in the Maverick. So we'll just have to see when it comes out next week. But there you go. I was able to find that information out there. So I got a minute and 54 here. What can I cover next? I do want to talk about build and price. So there are some people that asked about this. They see the destination charge on the build and price, and I've heard actually some people angry with us and saying, you're not doing MSRP, you're actually doing $1,500 over MSRP. Just to kind of clarify, the destination charge is the fee to get the vehicle from the factory to the dealer. That is what Ford charges all dealers. That is actually included into the MSRP price, not added to the MSRP price. So I just want to clarify that. That's what that dealer charges. So when you build your vehicle out and they say, well, it says it starts at $29,995, but that's not true. The dealer is charging me another $1,500. The dealer's not charging that. That is Ford that's charging that. So keep that in mind. When I talk about our shipping costs on top of that, that would be what it costs to get from us to you, not from the factory to you. So just wanted to clarify that. Also, if you're building out your vehicles and trying to give them to your dealerships for pre-orders, first edition is not going to be available in 23. I can tell you that, as well as the Rapid Red will not be available either. So keep that in mind too. So I do have an Is It True, but I might actually save that and go over a Ford News update real quick. Actually, let me do the is it true real quick and see if I can get through this. So people have asked, hey, order banks are not opening up August 2nd. My dealer's telling me it's the 15th. You're wrong, Tim. Or some people are saying only the EcoBoost orders are opening up on the 2nd and hybrids are the 15th. What do I say to my dealer that is telling me it's the 15th and not the 2nd? I would say you can actually, oops, that's the wrong one. You can actually show them this image here. So I do have this that shows the newest updates that we received at the beginning of the month. It is now 8.2, not 8.15 as it originally was, showing it right here. So this is information all dealers should have received when at the beginning of the month when their dealers zone managers went over this information with them. So this week's topic is so somebody reached out to me and said, you know what, you're always going over things about people that don't have their orders yet. What about people that have their vehicles? Can we learn some things on those? So I thought that's a great idea. So I want to talk this week about benefits and how to use the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I actually won't go into the how-to, but more the benefits that I find because I actually do have the Sync 4 system, which allows for wireless Android Auto connection as soon as I get into my Lightning or my Bronco, either one of those. Maverick doesn't have that. You do have to plug in, but even if I was getting into Maverick, I want to plug in because I do like the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay if you have an iPhone. And so this is a great. So some of the things. The reason I like to use the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay for these reasons. So I thought I'd give some of my input on this. And one of the things that I like is that I feel like that I can use the voice command. So if you're on a Sync 3 device, to get the system to listen to you, you actually have to press a button and then wait for the tone to sound. Whereas if you have Android Auto or you're using Siri or Google Voice, you can actually have it say, "Okay, Google," and it's listening immediately, and you can actually do whatever you need it to do, whether it be call somebody, whether it be navigate to a certain location or something and use your maps. You can do it easily using the voice commands. That's one of the big things that I like. I connect my phone and I'm able to do that. In fact, if I have mine connected to the Android Auto and I try to use the other system, it'll tell me that it's waiting because it's not connected some of the things, and it's because my phone is connected to the Android Auto. Also, another thing you can do, and some people have said, I'm really upset that Ford doesn't give us Sirius XM radio or navigation, and that is you can actually use a lot of the different apps within Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, including the SiriusXM. So you can go to SiriusXM, sign up for a $10 a month app service, and you have SiriusXM on your app, and you can stream that right through Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, as well as Spotify or a bunch of others. So you can stream those right through that platform using that, so you don't have to rely on having the Sirius on the screen, which is usually more expensive, by the way. So when you have the Sirius on the screen, I think for my wife's device in her vehicle, because she doesn't want to have to use the Android Auto. So, and some people don't, and I get that. But what she likes to do is be able to have it on the screen, and I pay $20 a month for that system, and I get the app for free, so that on my vehicle I can just do it that way. I probably will not be signing up for the Sirius XM through on my iPhone 15 Lightning, just for that fact. So, and then also the navigation. So you can use Google Maps, you can use your iPhone Maps, whatever they call it, and you can use Waze app as well. 3 different maps, well, 2 different for each device, to be able to use for the maps. And what I like about that is I think it's so much easier to use than what you're going to get from an on-screen navigation system. So those are some of the 3 benefits that I find using the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay when you have a Maverick. So if you don't have, a Lariat, or we know navigation isn't available right now in 22 on any of the trim levels. So that's a way for you to be able to use navigation, is to be able to go through your phone. Now there are some negativities. One, a lot of phones will need an unlimited data service to be able to use some of these things. Number 2, some people don't want to be wired to their vehicle. But the way I look at it is, you really shouldn't be on your phone while you're driving anyway. Why not plug it in? You're charging your phone, put it down into the Media Hub area, and then use the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay services. So that's my take on that. So you probably shouldn't be on your phone texting anyway, to be wireless. But just throwing that out there. You can drive however you want to. I'm not going to judge anybody, but I'm just saying, Plus, even if you're wired, you can't actually be able to still utilize your phone. So anyway, throwing that out there, some of the tips that I had that I thought were convenient, so you can still use some of the streaming services using the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. And in the description, I do have a video link to the Android. Actually, it was a year ago tomorrow that I recorded and published a video on how to connect your vehicle, how to use Android Auto, because I have an Android phone, and so I used my phone to do this. I was actually in my 2020 F-150, which I've recently traded in. So sad to see that. I'll kind of watch some of that video, but you can kind of show how to connect, how to adjust your settings, how to add more apps to the setup and everything. So watch that video if you want to in its entirety. It's about 15-minute long video, but that's linked in the description down below, or in the description, I should say. Now, real quick, I know you have questions in there. I do want to go over some of the things that we found out at Roush plant information, so hopefully you guys will stick around through this. There is some information in this part of the video about the Maverick that's coming here pretty soon. So we got to tour the Roush plant. So there's a lot of things we could not film in Roush because I did not realize all the things that Roush does, and I was just floored. Every time we came out of a different building, we were like, did not know that Roush did that. Did not know they had their hands in that. So let me go over some of these. First of all, we went to Building 50. Building 50 is where they do most of the production for the Roush vehicles. They call it RPP, Roush Performance. I don't know what the other P stands for. Anyway, I didn't want to be the dummy that asked, because the other two guys, aftermarket guys, they knew what RPP stood for. I didn't. Anyway, so here's kind of where you're going to see that. That's where they put together the Mustang, Super Duty, F-150, Ranger packages that we sell, and they sell to dealers. We are the number 8 dealer in the country that sells these, and so that's where they produce those, is Building 50. So there's a couple videos here, and even got the backside of a couple of different performance guys here, including a performance manager and another guy, Niles, which we handle a lot of your Maverick aftermarket stuff heading into 23 production. We talked about why we were on our big delay on our flight, but so there you can kind of see that. And so in fact, we had one of our vehicles in there being produced as while we were in there, which is really fun to see there. Couple things in Building 50 that we didn't realize that they do, and these are the shells. They actually produce these. These are what you would see on those pizza delivery vehicles. So have you seen those little pizza Domino's pizza delivery, the little ones? Well, these are a little bit bigger one that actually Roush makes those. It was their design that they came up with, that they took along, and actually Roush produces those for that company. And did you know that if you go on a Disney, I think it's the Harry Potter, any of the Harry Potter rides, those are all made by Roush. And this little closed off area that we were not allowed to go into, that behind that is where they're making some of those new rides that we weren't able to get any exclusive on or any film or anything. So in fact, we came around the back side, and we were able to see inside one because they didn't close it off on the back side, and they were like, don't take anything. But I wasn't able to see anything because it was kind of too far away, but they said don't take any pictures. So we were about ready to, but we didn't. Also, they on this other section I'm filming here behind that, they said is where they do some of the military vehicle assistance as well. So they do some things on military vehicles too, in a way of their engines and different things like that. So didn't realize that either. Also, they do some stuff with buses. So they're real big in the Michigan area to these Bluebird buses that they actually switch those over to propane. So that they do that there at the plant, and I'll actually show you a plant later where they actually make the engines and the propane tanks. You can kind of see the propane tanks down there as well, right there. So that's all done in this area, as well as some other things. Some other things they do within that same plant is, I don't know if you guys realize this, but all of the Mustang GT 5.0 engines, they're all produced by Roush. So Roush is pretty much, if you see Ford Performance on a Roush vehicle, that's actually done by Roush, or on not a Roush vehicle, on a Ford vehicle. If you see Ford Performance, it's actually Roush Performance that does that. So whenever you see an ST vehicle, that is a Roush Performance vehicle. So those are all done there, and we'll give you some insights about that in a little bit later. Also within that building, they do the Roush composites. So I don't know if you guys watch any of the NASCAR races, but all the I don't know what they're called. They actually told me what they called them. But basically the shell of the NASCAR vehicles are all produced by the Roush composite team there at Roush Industries. So they make all of the outside. So anytime they see a NASCAR race and they see a big wreck, they're like, we're going to be busy next week, and so they're already ready. So they have a lot of carbon fiber that they produce, as well as Kevlar with carbon fiber, and to make things light. And it was pretty cool to walk through that. And the person that was in charge of that was very thorough, and it was a lot of fun learning a little bit about that there in that building. Okay, now moving on. There was also another building we went to. This building actually was the Roush 1.0. So this is the first building that Jack Roush purchased to work on engines and the performance of the engines, to get the most out of the engines. This is kind of a look inside of that. So this is here where they're actually taking an engine that's here. I think this is actually a Chevy engine that they're actually putting through the test, and you can see them right there looking at that. So they're performing that test and letting it run on those engines. And this here, I don't know if you can tell, but they turned off the lights, but these little pipes here, those are glowing hot. So they're actually gauging how hot those get. And, we asked, have any of these vehicles like just totally blown up in there? And they said, yep, they have. And so they said, so anyway, so they took us through there. I only got actually I didn't get a couple, they only let us get those 2 pictures there, but they also test the Ford GT engines that go into the Ford GTs. They do also one-off engines. So if a customer wants to have a custom built or a crate engine built, they can help build those and test those in those plants. So that's pretty cool to see that and see the engineering that they go into that, and that's why they're able to test all their engines as well, and their superchargers and such in those buildings as well. So they also have some other places. So they have I didn't get pictures of this, so they did take us to this other place where they do durability testing, so they can put vehicles on this machine that runs 24/7 for 4 weeks straight, testing the vehicles, so that instead of them going and road testing for a year to see if anything's going to break down on it or where it might break down and any flaws they might have, they can put it on this, and Roush mimics that, and it's almost to a T of that. So a couple of vehicles they had on there. I don't actually have pictures of the actual vehicles because they wouldn't let us do photography in there, but this vehicle here was on their tester. So that is a Canoe electric vehicle. So they work with a lot of startup electric vehicle companies, and Canoe was one of them that was on the tester when we were there running along, and had been on there, and they run 3 shifts that can monitor those constantly on that. And then also in the back, waiting to get on one, was a badged up R1S. Rivian R1S. So it was pretty cool to see that. They also test out the Super Duties and different things there too, and of course the Roush vehicles. But right now they said that they're one of the few contractors that does these engines, or does a lot of these durability tests outside of OEMs. So OEMs will have them, but Roush is one of the few companies that you can outsource by these small startup companies. So pretty cool to see. And then had a lot of fun going to the Roush prototype building. So Roush Creative and such, and they work with companies to come up with an idea that they can actually make a reality. So what they do is they come up with these, you've probably seen the clay models and such like that. Well, they design them, draw them and such, and then put them into reality by making clay models, and even producing a one-off model that they can put a different, show the, people to really help them get investors and feedback on whether or not it's something that could be mass produced and people would actually purchase. So they've worked with, here's a couple of pictures here. So they've worked with a couple different companies here, and of course one of them was with Roush. So they outsource. Of course, they always say you have to use within your own company. So you see some of the Roush Mustangs there. The second section is the actual Super Duty. So the F650 was designed by Roush. So that vehicle was the current model design right now. Exterior model was created by Roush. And they actually told us that the headlamps, they're using those from the actual Econoline vans. So resourcing those and using those. So that actually shows the steps of the drawings going into the clay models, and then the real thing being produced outside of that. And then Chevy actually outsourced to them too, to get a model for a van here. And then you can see that Domino's delivery truck right there as well, which is really cool seeing that. And then moving on, they actually showed these boards because they had these boards set up because they were working on something on the other side that we couldn't see. And I'll get to that in just a second. So here's another one where they helped somebody with a helicopter. So they said, hey, how did they get that helicopter in there? Well, that's because they built it inside there and they put it together because it's not a real helicopter. So there's one that they actually made, and they fabricated the seats as well, designed the interior seats too for that helicopter company. And then the next one over there is another truck. It's a possible electric truck, what they're trying to see if people would get behind, if they can do a big electric semi there. And then the far right one is an excavator. I think is that an excavator? I don't know. My big, excavator, that they're trying to be electrified as well to see if people would be into that. And those were, both two were done by Cummins. You can see there, so they outsourced to them. And then, of course, the Roush vehicles. And this is actually one that they put together and everything, and they actually made one version of this, and we'll show you that here in just a little bit as well. And then here's another version that they put together for Jack Roush as well, and designed and such. Interior, you can see the drawings and everything else like that. That's pretty cool. So here is the actual prototype that went into production, and they made one of these to auction off, and it didn't go as high as it wanted to, so Jack Roush bought it from the auction instead. So you can see the front as well as the back. It's a wide body there, and actually we're lucky that it was in the plant that day, or actually it was in their museum. So pretty cool. And we did, while we were in there talking to those guys, we said, well, actually, I think I know, I've heard that that they are going to be making a Maverick ST, and I got a nod. So we know that's coming. So we just know, when's it coming? Is it coming this year? Is it coming in 24? But they did confirm that again. Anything that's done through Roush Performance, so your ST models are usually Roush just have their hands in it, and they work real closely with Ford. And they actually said there was a Ford on the other side of those walls. There was something they were working on for Ford, and it could have been the Maverick ST over there. If I should have just ran and knocked them over anyway. But they wouldn't let us in there. And lastly, I want to talk about is the Roush CleanTech, which is pretty cool. So these are all motors that go along with the tanks, as you can see here, for propane. So they have a lot of different companies that they make engines work off of propane instead of gasoline, to be a little bit cleaner. And so that's something that Roush has their hands in as well. A lot of companies that are working with them for that. So I know that's going on kind of long on that, but I thought it was really cool. And what I really didn't realize is just when being a part of Roush and having a Roush vehicle isn't about badging and everything. There's aerodynamics that go into everything they've done. The creative team that works on those different designs and the things that are added, the grills, and the different fender vents, the different fender flares and such they put on it, are all based and designed by the Roush team. And so it's not just something they slap on. It is not just a badging they put on and they charge a lot of money. You're buying into the engineering from Roush, and you're going into the whole production team and getting that engineering and the testing that goes behind that. So it was great. Had a great time there, and you realize that the Roush Performance is only 10% of their business. They have their hands in a lot of things, so it's really cool. Anyway, so let me get into some of these. All right, get in some questions. So I am not going to go back too far. So I see Vols up here. Showing on the wrong screen over here. There we go. So I'll look at Vols up here. It says, great question, Professor. Yeah. So he actually, let me see his question down here. It says, Tim, if I get rolled over to 23 Maverick from 22, can I still get private discount from Ford? You get the private offer. So yes. So when you get rolled over, basically what's going to happen, I've had a lot of people ask me this in emails recently. And by the way, Sarah has done an extremely great job of helping me out, answering questions. I've had people calling, and I'm working on something over here. She's on the other side of actually this camera right here. She's right over there, and she's answering a lot of the questions. So sometimes I might be here, but she's trying to answer any of the questions she can, especially on those phone calls, because I get carried away. If I get a phone call with somebody, I'm going to talk for 30 minutes, and that's my fault more than anything, because I get excited about talking about Maverick and different things, and she does a really good job over there. But a lot of people asked about that, said, okay, if I put in when my order gets, what happens, and when do I get my private offer? I haven't received anything from Ford yet. Private offers won't go out until they're done with the scheduling of all the 22 production, because no reason to send a private offer on somebody that's going to get scheduled in that last month. So they are scheduling for 22 production through August 18th. That's the last Thursday they're going to schedule a 22 vehicle for production dates. So those private offers will not go out until after that. So keep that in mind. And so what should you do? Should you put a 23 order in? Yes. So Ford has actually told us, the brand managers told us, put that, have that customer that is still unscheduled, have them put in that order for you. You definitely want to make sure you put that order in, so that way, just in case, if they get scheduled in the month of August, you can always cancel the order. So it's pretty that simple. So if you do have a 22, if you want to go with a different dealership, here's my recommendation with that, is that you make sure that dealer at the other dealership leaves that 22 order in there, because you will not get your private offer if they cancel that order. So on 8-2, if you decide to go with another dealership instead of them because they just didn't communicate with you or whatever reason you might have, what will happen is that if they find out they can cancel that order, you will not get your private offer. So you want to make sure they leave that in there. I recommend just not telling those dealers that you plan to do that. Put in the order with that other dealer, and then if they do, put an order with both of them. And then once you get their private offer, then you could let the first dealer know, I want to cancel my order, my 23 order with you guys. I'll take my private offer and go to a different dealership. And that's probably what you need. The best way to do that. James, thank you for joining the Law McArthur crew. Welcome, welcome. All right, now let's move on down. So Scott had a question. Can you please show the 23 Bronco colors? I sure can. Actually, I was hoping you guys would want to do that. So let's go and do that. Let me see if I can. Let me get back over to that. There we go. So moving on to the Bronco colors. So there you go. They do have, it's showing Velocity Blue. It's not showing that really light blue. So there was someone that got scheduled on a Bronco recently that said, with my luck, I'm going to get scheduled right before. And she did, but I don't see that really light blue. But it is still showing Velocity Blue, Hot Pepper Red, Eruption Green, Shadow Black, Azure Gray. So that's a new color for them this year. Antimatter Blue coming back. So Antimatter Blue was a color available in 21, discontinued for 22, and Antimatter Blue, it looks like, is back for 23. Iconic Silver, Carbonized Gray, Cactus Gray, Race Red, and Oxford White. So anyway, there you go. So, oh, Tracy, welcome to the Law McArthur crew. And Gary, thanks for the donation. Wow. Fist bump. Thank you. All right. Any other vehicles you want to see? I can show them to you. Just let me know. Let me know if you want to see any other colors, and I'll show you those there for you. All right. Jonathan. All right. Oops. Hold on a second. Skipped some questions. It flipped down on me. All right. Where was it? All right. Jonathan said, with the huge number of pre-orders you're getting, do you think those ordering through you will face further delays versus ordering elsewhere? Or would your volume be considered by Ford? Yeah, I kind of look at it that, timestamps is one of those things. So if we are a dealership, and this has actually happened through most of this last year, was there was months where we had 80 allocations, whereas there were smaller dealers that had 1 or 2. So the number of orders and the percentage of allocations are going to be based on the number of orders you have. So if we have a bunch of orders, we're going to get a lot of allocations. I mean, we see this happening in dealers in California all day long, where they have 500 Lightning reservations. Are they going to get 5 times as many allocations as we are? Yes, they will, because that's how that works. So that's how it's going to be based on that. And we can handle getting those orders in. We already have a plan together for putting in all those orders, so don't need to worry about that. Jennifer, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Long time member there. All right, so Ken said, but that is a good question, Jonathan. So I've told people that I don't think, necessarily going with a larger dealership or a smaller dealership is going to necessarily be an advantage one way or another. I think what's more important is that the dealership knows how to handle the orders and how to handle the price protection and knows what they're doing. So if you have a small dealer that is up, they know what's going on, great, go with that local dealership. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're struggling with that or the transparency from the dealership, that's where you may look at another dealer. So, all right, Ken says, I have a VIN and order number from my dealer, a Ford 22 Maverick, but they don't work on the Ford tracking site. Should I be worried? No. You probably, the reason the VIN isn't working yet is you're not close enough to your build date. So when you get a little bit closer, then that will work. But it doesn't mean, I've had a lot of people say, I have a VIN, but no, I'm not scheduled. Well, that's not true. Ford won't give you a VIN without scheduling it. It's just your scheduled build date is probably out far enough. It may be Ford support has been told by Ford, do not tell them their scheduled build date. You can tell them, and yes, you have a VIN and you've been scheduled, but don't give them a date. And that's probably what's actually happening, just because those dates keep getting moved around, and they just don't want to look bad. So that's probably what's happening. But if you talk to your dealer should be able to give you a production build date. So keep that in mind there as well. So. All right, so let's see, Ridgeview. So yeah, make sure you put the @ McArthur for it. Ford is a volume dealership. Their allocations are greater than most. Now I would say, with that is that depending on what model it is, we are volume dealers. So as you saw earlier when we talked about how many allocations we have, you saw F-150 Super Duty, a large number because we are the #1 Super Duty dealer in the state of Kansas. So we do sell more Super Duties than most dealerships, as well as F-150s. We're one of the top in the state. And then Maverick, we've seen that just because of how we handled the Maverick at the very beginning of last year, at the launch of that. But when you look at other models, Mustang, we're probably much smaller than some other dealer that probably is in California, where you see a lot more Mustangs flying around. Also, when it comes to EV, Lightning, we have about 137 orders or reservations with that. Whereas there's California dealers that have 500. So it really depends. You got to look at dealers based on the volume of that particular model, almost more than that. But yes, he is correct. So we are, when it comes to the Maverick, F-150, Super Duties, we are a large volume when it comes to those models. I think we're pretty high and when it comes to expedition sales as well within our state, even though we, only sell a few. But yeah, so. Mark, yes, Sarah is the bomb. I am very happy to have her around. She is coming real handy. So she does a great job, and she, I listen to her even answer some, and a lot of times she is asking me questions right over there. If she has an email that's coming through the FordVideoGuy email down there, she is answering a lot of those, and she's spot on a lot of those. And she'll ask, hey, if she doesn't know the answer, she'll ask me. And we actually have I actually probably post this at some point on our website. We do have a frequently asked questions that I've been giving her those and coming up with those. If she says, I have 3 about the same thing, what would you say? We go ahead and type that up and put that in there so that she has it, and it's a lot easier for her. But she probably knows a lot more than some of our sales guys. Just because she's right here and she's on the live stream and she's seeing those questions every day, so or every week I should say, not every day. All right, Alan said, in your opinion, should I stay with my dealer or move to McArthur? Well, I'd like to think that we are on top of everything, but if you have a good local dealer, I say stay with them. There's no reason why you should come to us if your local dealer is on top of everything. So like I mentioned last week, and Johnny did it on his video tonight, which is really good, is to ask them those questions. Do they know all the answers to those questions that I've been kind of preaching in the last year about the COVP, and they know how to make sure they're approved? Are they going to make sure your order's approved? Are they going to do price protection? All those things I mentioned in last week's. If you didn't check out the topic from last week, you might check it out on episode 49. You might check that out there. Blanca said, Tim, can you please check if we are still scheduled for 8-1 M49M? I can do that. Oh, I got to flip back over to Ford. Give me just a second. It is one of the benefits to people that have orders with us is that, a lot of times when I'm on the live stream, we'll check those orders, and I can do that. Probably going to take me longer if we have a lot of orders in here, so give me a second to get down to the M's here. Is it M49M? Yep. It is the week of 8/8 now. So 8/8. So looks like it did move back 1 week. All right, Tracy joined the McArthur crew, and Gary donated $2.99. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. I would say that feeds a poodle, but I don't have a poodle. Johnny's still in here listening or not. Got a chihuahua. Actually could help feed my chihuahua. All right. He lost most of his teeth, so he's eating the wet fluids or the wet food now. So anyway, all right. Matt said, I asked my dealer about converting my 22 to 23. Here is his answer. When Ford allows us to convert your order, we'll reach out and verify everything. That's pretty. It's pretty common. I mean, what we're doing is we're taking the 22 order and putting it as a 23, and then we can kind of get with them once we see order guides and update things, and we can always update that order. But yeah, some people, and we've always done that too, is wait until the order guides come out, and then we'll figure out how you can order it, and then we order it. But this is a little different now. People want to get that order in as soon as possible so they can get it quicker, knowing that it can take a while if they get behind a lot of other people. So it's a little bit different time now than it has been. So anyway. All right. Vol said, will original incentives for unscheduled orders be honored by Ford? I'm assuming the really only incentive out there on the Maverick was the low interest rate, and they will not. They will not be. And they actually haven't confirmed that with me, but I've talked to, some people around here, and they're like, no, that's not going to happen. It's probably, you're putting in a new order for 23, you'll get whatever incentives are available at the launch of 23. And I'm a little disappointed in Ford when it comes to the hybrid not getting the special rate like the EcoBoost is getting. That to me doesn't make any sense, and it's not really fair to those that want to choose that. So, but that's just my 2 cents, and I'm going to say what I said. All right, Joe said Mach-E colors. Yeah, I can look those up. Let's look at Mach-E colors. Let me pull it up, and then we'll cars and EVs. All right. Mach-E. Here we go. So we got Space White, Grabber Blue, Star White, Rapid Red, Shadow Black, Ice Blue Silver. That's the same color that came out for the Lightning as well. Dark Matter Gray, which looks really good in person, by the way. It looks almost black. I mean, that color there is pretty close. And if you look at the middle, that's about kind of what the color it is. And then you have the Cyber Orange as well. So there you go. And then Escape Colors. Oh, sorry. Back to this. Yeah. Actually, that said 22, didn't it? Hold on a second. They don't have the 23 for the Mach-E yet. So that was on 22. Sorry, folks. And then, so they don't have the 23 for those. Well, it actually shows EVs. Let me, well, here's Escape. All right, so we got Star White, Atlas Blue. Oh, that'll look really good on Escape. Rapid Red, Iconic Silver, Vapor Blue. And then we have Cinnabar Red. It's a weird name. It is a premium colorant, it says. Carbonized Gray, Agate Black, and Oxford White. So there you go. So interested to see what that Vapor Blue is going to look like. I haven't seen one in that color yet. And then let's go back and see if I can find... I might have looked over it. I did that on the Maverick the other day. I went right over it. Said, oh, there isn't any. So I don't see the Mach-E. So anyway. All right, moving on down. All right. Don't forget to put the @ McArthur. I'm trying to see the questions, but I'll try to get to later when there's less questions and I can see those. But all right, will a private offer be reduced if options were removed by 7/8? That's my assumption. Private offer should be based. My assumption is the private offer is going to be based on any upgrades, any adds to the vehicle. So in the 27th, the XLT base model as well as the Lariat base model, the price went up. So you're going to get private offer to cover that much. And then if you had a luxury package or co-pilot, both of those packages went up in price as well. So if you take those off, you're going to get less of a private offer, right? So, if they do a price increase of $1,000, which right now on the website looks like it's $1,000 more, so I'm assuming that's what it's going to be, then most people get $1,000 automatically. And then some people, if they have a luxury package, will get like another, $250, right, for any ads and price there. So that's probably what we're going to see on those price increases. My assumption is whatever you would lose from what you ordered prior to that price increase or any other price increases throughout that year, that's what you're going to get in the way of a private offer. So by taking off the luxury package, you will get less. So, and I know they were recommending people do that, and they probably didn't think about what it would do to people's private offers. They probably were thinking it'd get more people scheduled, which is the plus. Let's get their vehicles to them and in their driveways. And they didn't probably think about the fact that if people make that change, you can't add it back on your order now. So at that point, they're going to have less. I don't know. Probably didn't think that through completely. All right. Jonathan said, thanks. Really appreciate it. And I'll be ordering through you all. Appreciate that. So you want to make sure you get that in. So what we're doing, most of you know already, is that we're taking those orders. Wanting you to do a build and price, send those over to timothybarts@gmail. I am, by the way, if you've done that on Sunday or yesterday, give me tomorrow to get those to the sales department. I still plan to do that. That will happen, but it will give me just a little bit of time there. There was something else I was going to mention. I did not mention yet. Oh, here it is. So also people with orders with us, we do have Niles and Aftermarket will be assigned to you. If you get an email from Niles, then that's a great connection for any accessories you want to add to it. So like I recommend you take off the tonneau covers, spray and liners if it's optional, splash guards and those kind of things. Same constraint items as we have right now. So start your builds without those so you can get scheduled quickly, and then let Niles and Aftermarket take care of you there. So we have a email address set up for him. He'll be emailing you guys and letting you know and making that connection with you to help you out there and when we can start ordering those things. So it's a nice little letter that he plans to send out that he's kind of run by me, and I think it'll be good. So he's going to head up all the Maverick accessories. So Niles will be your guy. So all right. Deke said, have you heard anything about Ford being able to increase Maverick production for 23? No. And I don't see that happening. They'd almost have to have another plant facility to have that happen, or move Bronco Sport to another facility. So I don't see that happening. Probably be the same numbers, because what they're looking at is right now we're seeing a big increase, but here in a year or something, or a year and a half, when they get caught up, if they're producing vehicles and they're not selling enough of them, then that's going to help them. Like F-150s, if they try to produce at F-150 numbers now is fine, but in a year they can't produce that many. They're going to be sitting on dealer lots, right? And so they're just looking at in the future what they think they can make. Now I don't realize it'd be as good as it is, so maybe it's something they should consider doing, so that it can help out, because I think this is a vehicle that can be a hot seller for years to come, not just at the launch. All right, Paul said, any word on prioritization for 22 orders moving to 23? Nope. And what do we have? 1 week? Come on, Ford. What is going on? So yeah, I emailed the brand manager about this and said, hey, there are a couple questions that I have. One of them is, we don't have any word yet on how we're going to prioritize the 22 orders. You haven't instructed us anything yet. Also, I asked if there's any way that I could get my hands on the order guide by the end of the month. Even on the 1st would be great. So no clue on that yet. So I've heard that earliest would be on the 1st, which is Monday. So we'll just have to see how that plays out, but no word on that yet. There was something else I asked him about too, but I can't remember it now. All right, Bill said, reordering a Lariat Lux 360 on 8.2. Do you think it's possible that because of constraints that it could possibly not be built in 23? Oh, you order on the first day. I don't think it's going to be pushed out completely out of 23. You get that in the first day. I think you're gonna see a 23. Now, how early in 23 with a constraint item, I don't know, and we'll have to see. I'm really hoping that luxury package doesn't include a spray and bed liner. And if that's the case, I think we're going to see them being able to produce those luxury packages a little bit faster. So we'll just have to see. Copilot 360, don't know why that's still a constraint. That's standard. Lane keeping and bliss. 2 things, should not be constraint. Whatever. Scott, weird no Area 51 on Bronco in 23. Ooh, I didn't catch that. I was trying to think of what was in there, but no. Area 51. So we'll have to see if this is a complete list. This may be what we're working on and adding and subtracting colors. We'll just have to see. So I don't know about that. And what if some of these colors may not, they may not have like any special edition colors in here, so we'll see. But yeah, no Area 51. All right. So Landrick, I think is how you say it. If I get a private offer because a Maverick order gets rolled to 23, do I have to use that offer on a 23 Maverick? Going to use it on a different Ford vehicle? No, I believe it has to be used on a Ford Maverick. And I'm sure it'll say this is good for a 2023 Ford Maverick order. And I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. That private offer might be available on other models. We'll just have to wait and see. Probably gonna be close to what? Close to another month. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I mentioned it. Why didn't I mention this? All right. So if you're coming to the event, the Maverick meetup, don't forget to come by and see me. I'll be the F-150 Lightning and Smoke Quartz near the Maverick that's Area 51. Sarah's, we'll be together. I'll have a cooler with ice in the front area with the G Fuels. And so this week's is we do have the Sour Cherry. Very good, actually. I'm not big on a sour, and I've stayed away from these, but I said I'm going to try all 4 of them just to be able to say, you know, which ones I like best. But last week we talked about the rainbow sherbet, which is pretty good. I like the sour cherry a little bit better, but I do like cherry. So sour cherry is another color we're gonna another flavor we'll have there. I did actually order 2 more cases of it, so we'll make sure we have plenty there for you. So we should have about 60 of these. So come by, first come, first serve. All right. All right, and then let's see here. All right. Yeah, put Atla McArthur. Make sure you kind of spell it right there. I'd really appreciate it. So, yep. All right, and Vols, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. You know, you have an order with us, and that's thanks enough. But I do appreciate that donation, and definitely Sarah deserves it because Sarah does get some of the proceeds from our YouTube, so that's part of her pay. So do thank you for that. So, and she has worked very hard and is doing a great job, and deserves every penny she can get there. So, all right. Here we go. So Ryan said, make sure you spell out Lon McArthur correctly. I did see this one, Ryan, though. It says, hey, Tim, not Velocity Blue on Maverick at 23, and can show the 23 Maverick colors again. I can show them again. Let's see here. Hopefully I don't get in trouble with this. There you go. I will say Atlas Blue is a beautiful color. I almost got that on the Lightning. I think that is a beautiful. And the more I've seen the Alto Blue on the Maverick, the more I like it. That's a really nice color as well. And I will say I like the Hot Pepper Red better on the Maverick than I do on the Ranger. And the Avalanche Gray will be pretty cool. Somebody actually posted on Maverick Truck Club. They found a video I did on the F-150 Raptor from 2017 when Avalanche Gray was available on the Raptor. And so you can watch that video. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool color there. So it's a lighter than the Cactus Gray. Pretty cool, almost like being the Desert Package. Wow, Robert, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So thank you. $50. Wow, that's amazing. Appreciate that. And then Mike, $1.99, one of our members as well, donating there. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Sarah. So we'll make sure that gets passed on, right? All right. So Josh said, as per your topic, it should be noted. Oh, wait. It should be noted there are aftermarket adapters to allow you to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly. I actually have seen those. So good point. So you can find those out there. Any other comments I missed? If you put the Atla McArthur correctly on there, it actually pops up orange on my screen, so it just pops right on my screen there. Sour cherry, pretty good. I'm not telling you what the flavors are until the next 2 weeks for the other flavors, but we'll let you know. One of them actually is one that I've tried before, so you guys will know that. All right. So Marsha said, I just tried to build a Maverick XLT Lux 360 hybrid, and it would not let me. Do you see the same problem when you access build and price? Well, let's just do that right here. Check this out. See, I was prepared. I knew we'd probably have to do this today. And so, yes, let's just try it out. So you said XLT hybrid, right? So you are selecting it, I assume, build your own. And if you're wanting to send an order, a pre-order to us, this is how you do that. So you'll want to make sure XLT hybrid selected there to start your build. You can still switch it once you go in there if you accidentally selected EcoBoost. And then you said, going to packages, you said Lux in 360 Copilot. So there's a Lux package. There's a 360. Not having any issues there. And you might look, I mean, if you click on the eye, it tells you if it's not available as something. So maybe you had something selected. Sometimes it usually lets you know that, hey, and so maybe if you had like the bed liner, spray and bed liner selected first. So anytime you want those packages, select those first and then go into your options after that. So yeah, so hopefully that helps out. But yeah, it works there. Well, Kip, thank you very much for that $1.99 donation. I appreciate that. And hopefully you're making it to the Friday night event. So bring your friend with you. All right. All right. Robert wants to join. All right. Yeah, Robert. Pull this off this. So Robert, you can just, if you want to join the members, there's a join button. If you go to I have the link in the description, click on that, or go to our homepage for our channel, and there's a join button beside the scribe. If you don't see it, if you're on an iPhone or an iPhone tablet or an iPhone or the iPad, then you'll have to go a little bit differently. So you'll have to actually go into Siri, or not Siri, go into Safari, Chrome, Safari or Chrome browser. You'll be on the mobile. You'll want to make sure you go to the desktop version. So click on the little A's there in the upper hand corner, and then go down to a request desktop version. When it refreshes, you'll see that button there. So that kind of shows you how that works there. So when it refreshes, you'll see the join button there. So there you go. So if you're not able to see it, it's probably because you're on an iPhone or a iPad. Won't say what I believe there because I'm not an Apple guy, and so I have a lot of fun with Apple users. But Donald, thank you for the $19.99 donation. Appreciate that. All right. So anything else to receive an email? Any luck? All right. Did you receive my email? Any luck? Probably. I am a little behind. I have 96 emails here to check, and Sarah's got 36 on the FordVideoGuy. So yeah, we'll get to it tomorrow. Usually on Tuesdays I don't really check my emails, and yesterday I 2 to 3 hours going through my emails, catching up on those, and so we'll get to those and get those passed off to the BDC. I like to kind of have them coming to me because I want to be able to track those and make sure all those orders get put in, because that night I'm going to make sure anybody that sent me an order that I'm going to make sure before I leave that they're put in, those orders are put in that day, but they are passed off to the salespeople, which shouldn't have any issues there. And we have 5 managers putting in orders that day, but that's why I want them to come to me, but they will get handed off to a salesperson at that point too. And so we'll get those handed off tomorrow morning. So Scooby, if you do not get a response from me by tomorrow around, actually I got a meeting at noon. If you don't get a response to me by around 2 o'clock tomorrow Central Time, make sure you give us a call here at the dealership, and we'll make sure, and Sarah will get that call, and we'll make sure that gets we get that covered. But just want to make sure we got it. All right, Tim said, can someone have a no priority code? No, they cannot. 2 weeks ago, I was priority 2, and this week, the chat people said I do not have a priority. Do you? No, yeah, you have to have even a non-confirmed ROVP order will have a priority code. So, I mean, I can show you here. So, you know, if you look at our screen, priority right there, 02, 02, 02, 02. I mean, you see they all have a priority code. So, I mean, there's the first 25 all have priority codes. I mean, I can go to even page 10. I mean, so they all have priority codes. So they're probably just looking at the wrong place. Is what I'd assume. But yep, everybody has to have a priority code. The best it can be is a 1, but there's never a 0. So just so you know that. So. All right, so I just skipped through a bunch of people. I don't want to miss anybody's question. See, Sarah said, is Alto Blue really blue? It looks more like a green on the screen. No, it is a blue. It is a dark blue, and it is beautiful. So did it look like that on the screen? No, my screen it looks blue, and it looks blue on my software, my streaming software here as well. So it's a really dark blue. So I'd compare it to maybe a royal blue or something, but it's a beautiful color. We have in a lot of F-150s, and it looks really good. So, Alan, thank you for the $4 donation. Appreciate that. And Chris said, any updates on 23 Lightning order bank or colors? No, other than there are colors. Did I look at those earlier? I think I did. There you go. Here's colors. So there you go. There's your 10 colors there. And Azure Gray is new. Stone Gray, no, I think it was available last year. Or in 22. Antimatter Blue, another nice color. Avalanche Gray is new. So Azure Gray and Avalanche Gray, I think, are the new colors for this year. So for 23, there you go. But no news yet on the order banks. I'm assuming when we do our wholesale meeting with our Ford rep, we'll get information on that, is what I think. All right, Robert, you are a member, but I don't. I think maybe you're logged into the membership that you have set up. So you have to log into YouTube, the same one that you joined as a member, because I noticed as a member you don't have an uppercase R and B. It's lowercase, so that might be why you're not seeing your membership title there. Anyway, all right. All right, so you got gave an error explanation package. It popped up when you first tried the website. You might try it again. Go to when you go to Ford.com, hit Control F5. That actually resets your cache on the on a website. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I do that with our website all the time to see what it looks like as a fresh user. So Control F5 when you're on Ford.com and see if that updates for you. All right, Kevin, thank you for the donation, $4.99. Kevin Sampson, so I talked to you the other day. Thank you, appreciate that. All right, Michael said, I have a VIN number and a build week of July 25th. Will it be built this week? I have not heard from Ford yet. Build week of July. I bet you more than likely that date moved back. So you might have originally had a July 25th build week. Although they should be building this week, so you might want to call them and see if it has a build day or not. Your dealer should be able to get that information too. So, all right, is it Yanati? I don't know. It says I bought a 22 F-150 Limited at MSRP and with D-plan price at DeLacy Ford in Buffalo, New York. Great dealer. I have active park assist removal. Any chance Ford can or will install it later? You know, at one point in like March, they actually said that that would not come with it, but they would be able to add that later. But they haven't said that since. So I got a feeling that you're probably not going to see that being added back to your vehicle. So I'm afraid to tell you that. But so anyway, don't know for sure. I was going slowly, hoping I'd be good there. Some questions. I think I missed some questions. There we go. Steven here is a protective film on hood fenders, an item that causes delay in Mavericks. Yes, it's like a 1% constraint. So I would take that off. All right. Ragnar said, is there a new price protection program in Smart Vincent for the July Bronco price increase last week? Okay, so first of all, price protection is not a Smart Vincent item. And it's not based on the Vincent at all. It's just given to the dealership. So that is not something you would see in Smart Vincent. So just so you know that. So only seems to cover the March price increases. So the increases, some of the price increases were rebates. Any order that was a 21 that got pushed to 22, just like the 22s on the Maverick again pushed to 23, those 21 orders will get a private offer. So that's how that'll work. So that's what that program number is for the ones that had a 21 order that got pushed to 22. That's their private offer. But that is not any of the price increase within this year. So anytime it's within this year, they have to do price protection on that. I think a lot of those numbers were, anywhere from $1,250 to $2,000, depends on the trim. But yeah, that's how that works. That program number is for the people with a 21 to a 22 order. That's their private offer that they received back then. Greg said, going to my dealer to make my 22s at 23. When will the secret price come to me? Again, it won't be till the end of August, probably after scheduling is done for any 22 orders, because we will schedule through most of August. So August 18th is the last day they will schedule a 22. So we know it's going to be after that date. They haven't given us a date. Again, there's still more information on the private offers, on the converting over that we don't know yet. With my luck, it'll be tomorrow. So, and if something comes out, as soon as something does, I'll do a video on it and I'll release it out to you guys on the information I know and read it through and get all the information on actually how everything works. All right, Scooby said, I sent the info you requested from me. You'll see when you read the email. All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, Steven said, could you continue that build and price and see if you have an option to print it? Sure, can do that. Pull that back up. So there you go. So then if you go up to the summary, right up here you see my cursor. So once I build it and say, okay, those are the 2 things that I want on my order, nothing else, I can click on the summary real quick. Boom, hit that print button. So there's a print button right there, and there's a share button. So what we're doing, a lot of our customers, is click that share button and copy that link into an email block, send it over with my email address, and then we have your build. But we also do need name, address, zip, phone number, and email address, which we'd have if you email us. But so there you go. That's how that works right there. So pretty easy. You can even save that if you log in. When you hit save, if you're not already logged in, it'll log you in, and you can actually save it too. So there you go. Hopefully that helps out. All right, let's see. Vol said, does L29S show in production in the VBR? Now you're just showing off, Vols. You know all the terms. Been with me for a long time, I can tell. Let's look. L29S. All right, it does say it's scheduled for the week of August 8th right now. That's what it's showing. So it's not in production yet. So there you go. All right, and Whitney's Jonathan says, hi Tim, does it usually take 30 days to receive the Ford Pass points after purchase? Thanks. You know, good question, because I haven't received mine. It's been about 2 weeks since I purchased my Lightning, and I haven't received mine yet. So it could. You can actually contact Ford Pass, and they can get you that, and they can look it up for you and find out. It may be the fact that the Ford dealer hasn't sent the deal to them, because once they push the deal to Ford, and usually they need that by the end of the month, so you probably see it happen around the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of the month of next month. So that'll probably when that happens. So for you there. All right, Sarah said, I was looking at Ultra Blue Metallic, not Atlas Blue. That looks green. Not Atlas Blue looks green. Okay, yeah, and Ultra Blue is a really dark blue. Almost, it looks black in the shade, in the dark, of course, and then it looks a really dark blue after that, so. Of all the Super Chat donations, yes, so I appreciate that. I can tell you guys like Sarah, so. All right. I missed anywhere. All right. Deke said, how much G Fuel will you be hooking up on your IV next Tuesday? I might need several. So just a quick little story. So our little trip to Detroit. So we supposed to fly. We left here, Salina. We were flying out of Kansas City. So I think had a 6 p.m. flight or something. We got up there in plenty of time. That flight was not delayed. Got to St. Louis. We were supposed to fly out of St. Louis at 8:45 p.m. We land. We get a delay. Okay, this has been delayed now. By the way, Rock of the Crystals of Arizona. Rock the Crystals of Arizona. Pretty cool name. All right, thanks for becoming a member. But so we got there 8:45. They kept delaying it. They said it was going to be like 11. And we're like, what? 11 p.m. That's going to get us there at like 1 in the morning. Well, that wasn't the worst part. Then they delayed it to midnight. Then it was 1. And at one point, they delayed it to 3 a.m., getting us there at like 6. We're like, well, looks like we're sleeping in the airport. Finally, it got moved up to 1 p.m. We end up getting to Detroit, which I didn't even realize it was an Eastern time zone. I guess it's right on that line. But we're in Eastern time zone. 3:30 a.m. is when we finally arrive, get to our hotels at 4 a.m. And so I'm trying to stay awake in the airport, so it probably takes about an hour before I'm able to finally fall asleep. And so we got about 3 hours of sleep before we go tour the Roush plant and all day. And about 6 p.m. it just hit all 3 of us. We were just wiped out. And then but the worst part is on the way back, we had to be up at 4 a.m. for our flight, 6 a.m. flight. We wanted to be back here in Salina 1 p.m., back at work. And so our flight was supposed to be 6 a.m. and it got delayed till about 8 o'clock. Made us miss our connecting flight in Chicago. And we had to take a 12 o'clock flight. But because of the storms coming through there, all the flights were delayed. We didn't get out of there till 3 o'clock. We didn't get home till 8 p.m. It was Oh man, so a lot of delays in there, a lot of airlines right now, and I think that's kind of the wave of the future right now that we have. But so that day I had several of these, not G Fuels but Monsters. But man, yeah, that day we were, cranking the Monsters early in the morning at the touring the Roush plant and everything to stay awake. So all right, so we got Jacob just subscribed. Thank you, Jacob. All right. So Kevin, not sure if I just kept missing the response. Apologies if you've already answered. Any word on when the 23 Maverick order guides coming in? Usually the case is when the order banks open up, that's when the order guide is available. So order banks open up on 8/2. Usually 8/2 is when we see the order guides. F-150 last Monday was the day it opened up. Order banks opened up at 3:30 our time. Order guides are available at 1:30 our time, so 2 hours in advance. So not sure, and we're not sure when we're going to be able to order on the 2nd. It could be in the afternoon like it was with the F-150, so we don't know. So we'd love to know when they're. That's the third question I asked the brand manager was, what time of the day will we be able to order vehicles? So we still don't know. So we have no word on that. We have been told that August 1st, that no information will be given to us till August 1st on anything. So I'm hoping at least August 1st will be the information on prioritization for those 22 orders. Hopefully that's the day we get order guides. We really don't know. So since this is the last live stream, we will have a Thursday night live stream. So if I find anything else on Facebook, I'll mention it. But I'll be tweeting it out. So make sure if you're not following along on my social media links that you do. So all the different, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, I will tell you I'm not on Instagram much. But Twitter, I'm real heavily active on Twitter. And Facebook, it's more or less just marketing for me on Facebook, but you can find all the links there. And if I get some information, I'll be doing, you can guarantee I'll be doing a video on it. If any news come out this week before Monday or even before Tuesday, you'll get that information. I'll be posting videos, guarantee that. I think I just passed up a bunch of questions here. All right, nobody says my last name correctly, and you said it perfectly. Oh, yay. Thanks for answering my question. I love your channel. Well, thank you. And I usually chop people's names up, so I'm glad I got that one right. Greg said, any idea how many 22s that will be carried to 23? For us, I can't tell about the nation, but for us, well, let's look. I know how many we're going to be putting in that day. We have 301 order. Wait a minute. Hold on. That's not true. We got to take out all these others. Here, let's just do this. Boom. Here's what we have unscheduled as of right now. We have 176 unscheduled orders. So we'll have that many that'll need to be put in to our as a 23 order. So our plan right now, unless we hear differently from Ford on how this is done, we plan to put those 176 orders in first before we put in any other new 23 orders. Unless Ford tells us otherwise on how to prioritize those orders, and they still get prioritization if we put them in after other new orders. But that's the plan. We're already got a plan with the other managers that are being put in orders that we're just going to divide those orders out between the three or five of us. We'll put those orders in first before any new orders come to our desk that we put in. So that is the plan, unless Ford changes and tells us something otherwise. All right. Try to scroll down here. Oop, gotta be over it. All right, Yar said, I think that's Yar. YAR, how about that? YAR, it looks like it's divided in here. I know you're answering this in the past, about how far from the production date can I print my window sticker? I have a VIN, but the production, once it goes and it says it's being sent to the plant, that's usually when you can see your window sticker. So usually it's like the week before your production week. So week of the September 5th, probably late August, like that last week of August is when you'll probably be able to get that. So, all right. Did I pass any others? Okay, we're getting down here to the end. All right. Adele Real. Ford, any news on 23 Lightning order date? No. I did answer that earlier. May not caught that because I said it pretty quick, but don't have any information yet. We're hoping that invites start going out next week, into next week, maybe. So we'll just have to see. All right, John says few words on what order guide is. Okay, what the order guides are basically the information. So here's actually an order guide for the F-150. So basically, it's an order guide is information that says what's standard on what's standard on each trim. So the order guide will show is like the starting trim for like the Maverick is the XL. So it'll actually show here's what's standard on the XL, in a sense, every Maverick. And then here, like this in here actually shows, here are some different, packages or equipment groups that are available. And then here's how the package is available, and it shows, hey, it's available with these two equipment groups, and that's how that's done. And then it'll actually show you what is available as standalone options on that particular trim, and it's depends on what equipment group, whether or not something's available. So that's an order guide that kind of guides us in ordering vehicles for people. So yeah, that's kind of just basically it's a guide for us to do ordering for customers. So, before, and it's been years ago, build and price wasn't a thing on Ford's website. So, as dealers, we didn't use any kind of website to guide us through that. We had to use an order guide to help us get through that. And so the order guide will come out. It'll probably be 2 to 3 weeks before we see the website updated for the build and price. So that's more for somebody, customers like yourself, to play around and see what's possible and see how it affects the price than anything. For us, we have to use an order guide and a price list until that is available on there. So, all right. And an order guide is going to be like 100% accurate. So the website, sometimes I've seen things not accurate, like images that show, the armrest that folds down in the back, showing a picture of it when it's not available, or, something like that, a rear defrost when it's not really there. Order guides are going to be 100% accurate, and they will update those if they make any changes to them. Hopefully that helps. Blanca, thank you very much for your donation. It seems like you're doing one every week. I appreciate that. Thanks for the great July, Tim, and all McArthur crew. Wow, it is at the end of July, isn't it? Wow. Guess I've been focusing in on that 8/2 date that I've forgotten that it really is coming to the end of the month. Is an order form, all McArthur, more likely to arrive sooner than a COVP Priority 23 from my original dealership? It's an order from McArthur more likely to arrive sooner than a COVP Priority. Your 22 order should probably get to you before a 23 order, we'd assume. So that's what I would think. So, all right. Max said, when is the last day to know that a 22 Maverick orders will be pushed to 23? Are you going to notify? Are we going to be notified by Ford? Yes, you will. So August 18th will be the last day they're going to schedule the last set of vehicles for 22 production, and then they'll start in September. They'll start scheduling for 23 production. So the August 18th is a date they've told us about. Is the last day they're going to schedule a 22. And so at that point, if you're still unscheduled on the 19th, call your dealer and they say, yep, your order's not scheduled, then yours is going to be you're going to have to put in a 23 order, which hopefully you've done before that and not waited till that date, because you can always have a 22 and a 23 order in there at the same time. Put that 23 order in early just to get it in that system, because you can always cancel that 23 order if yours gets scheduled. So, all right. All right, Brian said, what's the difference between COVP and ROVP, and which should I using with my dealer for my order next week? Okay, so we don't know. Okay, so COVP is where usually you put all the paper documents you need to for most of your orders. On the Maverick last year, Ford came out with this great system of, hey, we're going to make it to where customers can go on our website and they can say, hey, I want interest in a Maverick and I want to send a reservation over to my local dealer. So it was, so the reservation was sent over as a internet request for saying, hey, I want to get a Maverick. I think I want to order a Maverick. So the dealers are supposed to reach out to those people that put in a reservation and getting connected with them so that they can put the order in at the dealer. Great system, because I think they thought that the word wouldn't get out on the Maverick Since they didn't do anything on social media, they basically just did something to dealers, but they really didn't have a big launch like they did on the Bronco and the Lightning. So I don't think they thought the word would get out. So that's what they did, was they had the website set up, and then they pushed social media after that release. And so it was basically you put the order in through Ford's Maverick ordering system, which was ROVP at the time. For 23, my assumption is that they will all have to be, that ROVP will not exist for 23 production, and it'll all be COVP. And that's a certified order verification program. So that is a different site. So that's probably the assumption. It'll probably be that's the wording. A lot of dealers aren't using the phrase ROVP. But if they knew what they were doing early on, they know that those documents had to be put in that place and not in the COVP paperwork. So the site anyway. So there you go. Vicky said, Tim, please look into my order, D39S. Ford sent me a letter saying 45-day delay. Will I get carried? You won't get carried over to 23, Vicky. Not to worry about that. Before that happens, they will likely not schedule vehicles before they move your order into another model year. You have a VIN and everything. So let's look yours up, though. What would you say it was? Say D39S for a Maverick? I don't see that. Oh, I'm only looking at unscheduled. Whew. I'm a little nervous for a second. All right. D39S. Nope, uncheck. I was like, it's not there. Still not there. All right, well, let's go to a different place. Look it up. So it's not showing there either. So we're going to go and see. If it's not there, that means it could be already released. Let's look here. Yours is in production right now. So D39S. There you go. So it is at the plant. It says it's returned from the body company, which means you probably got a luxury package put on yours, so it has all the bed accessories put on and came back to the plant. It should get shipped out real soon. It actually shows an ETA of July 18th to July 24th. That's fast. So they're wrong about that one. But this update was actually July 6th. So yours might have gotten delayed, probably because the plant was down for those 2 weeks. So we should get an update on your order here pretty soon. But I didn't. I should have looked at the status date there, because just like with mine, I haven't gotten the status update for like a week. So, but we'll get more information on yours real shortly there. So, hopefully. So we'll keep looking for that. But you'll probably get an email once that gets updated, because yours actually says return from body company, which means it's basically ready to be shipped out. So you should be getting an email the same time that we're going to be able to update. You should get an email saying that you have that you've received that it's been shipped out. So hopefully that happens real soon here. Sorry about the mic. If I hit the mic and it did anything. All right. KDT said, if I order my 23 through you guys, would you do drop ship? I can finance with your dealership if that's something you can do in exchange. Do you require a deposit? No deposit. We can do drop ship. I know a lot of the sales guys aren't liking to do drop ships, because last year we had a lot of dealers that we did drop ships with that were really bad to work with. Go figure, right? We struggled with some of the dealerships, so we would have to make sure we find a dealership in your area that will do drop ship and what that fee is going to cost and everything, and we can set that up for you. And so we can do that. I know there's a couple of our sales guys are like, I'm not doing drop ships, because they've had some. I think I talked about last week, so I won't get into it. But we'd rather ship it to you because it's a lot easier. We don't have to deal with those dealers in your areas that way. And if your dealer knows one gets dropped there and you keep bringing it in for service, they're going to know you ordered it somewhere else. You know, you might have some issues there. We can always, if you get one here and you're going to take it in for service, we can take off our badging if that helps out when you take the vehicle in, so you don't have any issues there and they won't know that you didn't buy it from them. So anyway, that's what we'd rather do, is ship it, or have you come get it and such. But we can do drop ship, and if that works out. It's just some of those dealers, they're just not as nice to work with. But we can do that. Reach out and see. Some of the dealers are good, but we've struggled with some of that. So Yeah, Heidi, put at Law McArthur. Thank you, Ridgeview. We gotta thank Ridgeview for he's a great moderator. Moderates ours as well as Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. And so thank you very much, Ridgeview. You are I appreciate you so much. I wish I could send you a donation because you do so much for us. All right, Joel donated $5. I think it's raining out. Says Law McArthur, thanks for all your help, even with your crazy busy schedule. You always make time to answer all our questions. Well, thank you very much. Actually, somebody posted earlier, said something about Tim and his banker's hours, and I'm like, more like ATM hours, open 24/7. But yes, there's some nights you might get responses from me late at night. And then like today, I always come in at 11, so I'll sometimes respond to people in the morning before I come in. So you never know when I'm going to respond to your guys' questions on via email and such. Maverick Truck Club too. All right. We get a new subscriber. Did I miss that? All right. All right. Any other questions? So you remember when we used to do this? This is episode 50 now. We're almost 1 full year since we started doing these episodes. Episode 50 now, and some of you that have been with me a long time, we used to go to about 8 o'clock, 8:30. Now it's 8:45 to 9 o'clock. So it's real fun. So going this long, I would be honest, I didn't think these live streams would last this long, but so thanks for sticking with me and being in here. And some of you have been with me long enough that you could answer these questions for everybody instead of me answering it. But so I appreciate you guys sticking with me and going through that. So Clarence said, does the ICE engine also charge the hybrid battery along with the regenerative braking? No, it does not. The regenerative braking is the only thing that really recharges it, that hybrid battery. So, all right, Mark said we had around 2.5 inches of rain on Sunday night, Monday morning in Manhattan. Say we got some rain, but I didn't know how much it was. I don't have a rain gauge, but good to know. So Mark's local here. I consider that local. Manhattan's local enough. My future son-in-law is at Fort Riley. So yes. So cool. Shouldn't actually say that, should I? No. Anyway, Michael said, do you think all of your pre-orders will get entered on the 2nd? Yes. Pretty confident on that. We have, so let's see who managers we have. We have our general manager, our general sales manager, myself. We have 2 sales guys that can put orders in. I believe we also have the person in charge of our Lincoln lineup that he's going to help out put in orders. So we have 6 to possibly 7 if we really need to. Our desking manager will be as well. He's going to focus in on other business that day. But we have 6 to 7 people. I know some dealers have like 1 person that puts in their orders. We have 6 to 7 people that know how to put in orders well and can put those orders in. So yes, we will get them all in. And now if we get new order guide updates and any of the pre-orders that we have need to be changed, we can always do that Thursday, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, the rest of the week. But yes, they will be put in that day. I have all faith in our team. Like I said, we can put an order in pretty quick. It'll take longer to put the name and address and everything in on that. Their information it will be to figure out what we can schedule, though. We'll have that down. Trust me. All right, Michael said. All right, Rhett said, can you cancel a customer's order if it has been scheduled to be built yet? Don't want to potentially hurt my dealer's allocations if I want to cancel because my trade-in value tanks. You can't cancel one that's been scheduled. Once it's been scheduled, it's going to be built. That's been scheduled. If you have an unscheduled order, it can be canceled. So there you go. All right. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Anything else I wanted to cover? There was some Ford news I was going to cover, but didn't really get to it because we were a little late on things. So I was going to cover a Ford article that I found about the lithium iron phosphate batteries that will come to the Lightnings. So Ford Authority had an article out saying that they're going to consider switching at least some of its EV batteries from lithium ion to lithium iron phosphate, LFP. And now the automaker has confirmed that are indeed coming to the F-150 Lightning. The news actually stems from the automaker's announcement outlining a major effort to secure the raw materials and battery capacity needed to build 600,000 EVs by the end of 2023, with 2 million planned for annual global production beginning in 2026. Ford announces it will begin securing LFP battery packs for the Mustang Mach-E starting next year and the F-150 Lightning in early 2024 from a company. It says Contemporary Amprex Technology Limited. And they're also scouting locations in the U.S. and Mexico for future plants. Mexico. Of course, they are making the Mach-E in Mexico, but anyway. So there you go. And did you guys see the information, the notes that they said all the Cybertrucks that were reserved in Australia all got their money back? So they've refunded them. So looks like Australia's thinking they won't be making a Cybertruck anytime soon and giving that money back. I did see that all the orders, reservations that that Tesla received was equal to about $1.2 million with $100 reservations on all the reservations they took on the Cybertruck. And do remember, Cybertruck was announced before the F-150 Lightning, and the F-150 Lightning is being produced and is in people's driveway, including mine. So that's that. So usually when Ford announce something, they get on it. So you got to give them credit for that. So all right, definitely hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you haven't done that yet, we're down to like 200. I kind of figured with tonight's topic that we wouldn't have a big number this week, but next week we'll be talking Maverick orders, order guide updates, everything else next week. So you definitely want to make sure you come back next week and bring all your friends. All right. So hey Tim, can you get the all-wheel drive option with the hybrid on the Maverick? Don't know. So again, we won't know until we get order guides. Probably the first before we get any information on anything. They're keeping all this tight-lipped. William McCain, thank you for the $4.99 donation. Appreciate it. John said, do you guys honor the build price or the sticker price? I have $1,000 difference. It will be whatever is available on the order guide. So what's on build and price is not what necessarily we honor. It's going to be whatever. That should match up once the 23 build and price is updated, it will be updated with the new pricing. Now this here, what you're seeing on build and price right now is $1,000 more because all the other orders before that have already been price protected, so they're not going to get that price. So we honor whatever price is put in the system. When we order your vehicle, it will spit out a price, and that's going to be the MSRP price when you order your vehicle. We will honor whatever the price is when you order your vehicle, the day you order it. So, yep. In fact, we had one today that theirs is coming in pretty soon, and they made a lot of changes, but a lot of changes were done before any price increase. So I said, your original door will work. We're just going to take off whatever they took off of their order to get it scheduled, and then that would be their MSRP. So we know exactly how to do price protection on these orders. All right, so Max said, I have a reservation place on November 21 for a Lightning. Any idea if it will possibly be for me to get a 23 model year? I would say that's probably the last day you could reserve a Lightning. So I'd probably say it's may get pushed to 24. What are they saying? They hope to produce 120,000 in 23, and they probably did about 15 to 20,000 in 22. So if you add those numbers up, we're still shy of the 200,000 reservations that came in. Which means some of the ones late in the year, October, November, will probably get pushed to 24. That would be my guess. But it's hard to tell until we see production numbers. We don't know. All right. William said L20S. Here, I'm going to do this in the VVR. All right. It is scheduled for the week of the 15th. Not sure if that moved back for you or not, but week of the 15th is when it now is showing this going to be, and that was updated as April 15th. It looks like it's been April 15th for a while, so there you go. And we have a lot of orders. I think the 85 allocations we received, what, back in May or maybe April. All those orders looks like August is going to be a big week for a lot of our. I think we have about 80 orders that will be built in the month of August, which means a lot of those are going to come in the month of September. So September is going to be a busy month for delivering Mavericks around here. It should be a big deal around here. So definitely be fun to see all these people in September coming picking up their Mavericks. All right, the 305 Holler said, what were August Maverick production numbers? What their goal was, because they haven't produced any of them yet. So I think their goal was, if I remember right, 5,500. If I remember right. So I knew July was like 2,800, and I think around 5,500. That's usually their goal each month, is to get to 5,500, 6,000 in numbers. And so I think that's their goal for the month of August, and probably what they scheduled out for. So any other questions? I always figure the more questions I answer here live, the less questions I'm going to have emailed to me. Not that I don't mind talking to you guys and emailing you guys back. It just helps us get more done during the day if we have less of those emails. All right. Any other questions? Anybody? So, all right. I don't think I have anything else to go over with you guys, so I think we might just call her good there. So I do want to thank you guys, and appreciate you guys for being in here, especially to my members that are in here and helping out and answering people's questions as well. I thank you to the moderator as well. I know Sarah bounced in here for a little bit as well. She does so much and helps out. So we're getting a lot of orders coming in, and she's been answering a lot of questions. And if she right now I have her answering my phone. So if she answers a call and you get her, feel confident. She knows what she's doing there, and some of the time she can just hop off real quick and just ask me a quick question over the computer monitor here, and we can get those questions answered quickly for you. And feel confident Sarah's going to give you those answers, and she's going to be able to help you out. So thank her very much for what she's doing, and also trying to edit videos, answer those questions, take those phone calls, and handle everything, and handle all the membership perks. She's doing a great job, so I want to thank her as well. And to all the subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed over the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can stay notified, especially this week. Any news comes up, I'll be putting a video out, and you'll get that notification if you have that notification turned on. So you definitely want to make sure that's going there. And then, of course, don't forget, if you want to become a member, feel free to do that. And we have some great membership perks, so make sure you watch Sarah's video, which I have linked in all the other member videos, starting this one from last week. So you want to make sure you see what those perks are, and make sure you get your information over to us so you can get those cool membership perks. And thank you guys for watching, and guess we'll see you guys next week. Probably seeing a video this week, right? So there'll be some information that hopefully will drop this week, or at least by Monday, and you should be looking for those videos. But otherwise, until then, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.